The group of friends attempting this robbery has never been in trouble with the law before, but their target isn't a bank. It's the place that supplies banks with their cash.
Dunbar Armored Depot has a lot less security than a bank, but does have a lot more cash.
As you enter, there is a very elite alarm system in addition to all of the surveillance cameras, which were well in excess of 20, 25 cameras.
There are bullet-resistant doors in front of the vault prep area.
And of course, you have an 18-inch impregnable vault.
There's enough surveillance, firepower, and security to deter most ordinary criminals. But 28-year-old Alan Pace isn't a criminal at all. He's just an employee who's surrounded by millions in cash and sees cracks in Dunbar's armor.
Alan Pace is the mastermind of the heist. He's responsible for inspecting and maintaining the trucks, so he works at the Dunbar storage facility full-time and obviously observes the routines.
Having a background in security is a great way to learn how to commit a bank robbery, right?
Pace also learned some key facts about how he might steal the Dunbar millions from the girl who stole his heart, Tamiko Carnes.
Tamiko Carnes is Alan Pace's girlfriend. She works at the Dunbar facility as well, and her job is to manage video security equipment.
Then, without warning, his inside woman is out.
She's fired under suspicion of theft.
Within a fairly short space of time, one of Alan's friends gets fired and his girlfriend gets fired, and this may be starting to build some animosity between Alan and upper management.
Pace decides to make his fantasy a reality. But if he's going to attempt the heist of his life, he'll need guys he trusts with his life. He needs the right crew. His first choice, best friend Eugene Hill.
Eugene Hill is a good friend of Pace's. He's actually the first guy that he brings on board.
They've known each other for a long, long time, and they actually have worked together as security officers at a variety of different venues.
For Pace to pull this off, he'll need a bigger team. He meets with a couple of friends in the parking lot after church and sketches out his plan in chalk.
Pace sketches out a rough layout of the facility. He maps out each of their movements and each step that they have to take to dodge the security cameras.
Pace's confidence is contagious. Two more of his friends agree to risk everything for a colossal score.
Freddie McQuarrie Jr. is one of the guys that are brought in early on. He works as a security guard at a church. And him and Pace are really good friends. They actually knew each other since they were 10 years old.
The next person is Terry Brown. Pace started a security company with Brown and McQuarrie.
Pace now has a trusted crew of 3.
So Alan envisions the caper going down like this.
They'll take the freeway, stash the second car a few blocks from Dunbar, then all ride in the rental truck to the depot, letting themselves in with Alan's key.
They'll avoid all the security cameras. He knows all the positions. There's a single security guard on duty. They'll time it so that they go in when he's on his lunch break.
Then they need to get into the vault prep area fast enough to grab the dispatcher before he can hit the panic button.
They'll subdue all the employees in the building, grab the money, throw it into a truck, and be in and out before anyone knows what's happened.
Pace refines his plan and knows his crew will need help controlling the guards, and that's where Thomas Johnson comes in.
He's also friends with some of the guys. He's done security as well.
Alan Pace is feeling very good about his plan. A few more weeks to get the guys in shape, shave a few seconds off their entry, and they'll be ready to pull off the heist in late September. And then this happens.
The pieces are in place. The team is set. Pace gets a call from upper management. He's fired.
His plan hinges on them using his key to sneak in.
He has to turn in his keys. And what that does is that accelerates the plan a little bit.
Pace calls his right-hand man, Eugene Hill, and tells him rent the U-Haul. He tells the others it's go time. One man stays with the truck, one watches the guard. They could potentially be outnumbered in the vault prep room.
Pace realizes he needs another guy, and that's when he engages Eric Boyd.
Since he hasn't been training like the rest of them, Boyd will man the U-Haul until they secure the building.
That evening, they go to a party in Long Beach. When it gets close to about 11 o'clock p.m., they slip away from the party one by one, unnoticed.
2 of them get into Hill's sedan, and the other 4 get into the rented U-Haul truck. It's a brilliant plan because when they're done with the heist, come back, and it's like they never left.
As they drive to the facility, the adrenaline is rushing. This is the biggest thing they've ever even attempted to pull off, and now they're minutes away from doing it.
On a signal from Pace, the heist is on.
They have to dodge a series of surveillance cameras. And what they've done is they've timed when this camera's looking this way, they will sneak over here.
They make it to the lunchroom undetected. But their plan depends on the armored guard appearing where Pace expects him to be at exactly the right time.
They see him, and the first thing they do is gaffle him up, tie him up with duct tape.
He's got a .357 revolver. They take that away from him, as well as the keys to the vault area.
Pace peeks through the bulletproof glass to confirm there are no surprise Dunbar employees.
They're able to apprehend the dispatcher before he's able to hit the alarm button.
As Pace and his guys are subduing the employees in the vault prep area, they shove them down to the ground. They're screaming and yelling, asking who else is in the building, making sure they've accounted for everyone.
One of the women gets pushed down to the ground so hard that she cries out in pain.
One of them actually injures her shoulder, and Pace, in effort to comfort her, says, "Don't worry, baby."
With the money counters all accounted for, it's time to get down to business.
They immediately get on the radio and notify the driver, Eric Boyd, he's out in the U-Haul, to back it up into the loading area so that they can begin to load the bags of cash into the U-Haul.
But while backing the truck up to the loading dock, Boyd accidentally cracks a taillight. With the team focused on the cash, no one notices.
They take the cash in the plastic shrink wrap, and then they put them into garbage bags. And from the garbage bags, they put them in the bins. And then they wheel the bins to the U-Haul truck.
And now, let's go, let's go. It's on. We've got to get as much money as we can, as quickly as we can.
In this particular bin, there was somewhere between $65 and $70 million, all in $20 bill denominations.
The crew can't leave behind incriminating footage, so they take the VCR and recordings from the guard room.
Now they're ready to make their big escape.
All 6 men make a clean getaway from the Dunbar Depot. They rendezvous at Hill's apartment to stash the guns and gear, then change back into their party clothes. Just 90 minutes after leaving the party, they're ready to return and lock in their rock-solid alibis.
Immediately, Los Angeles Police Department dispatches units to the facility, and the FBI was notified and responded to the robbery.
4 hours after the heist, LAPD and the FBI are scouring the building for evidence. While the crew took every precaution, there's one small detail they missed.
So a key piece of evidence that the authorities find is this plastic lens. It looks like it came off of a broken taillight, but it doesn't match any of the Dunbar vehicles.
2 days after the heist, executives at Dunbar determined just how much cash is missing. $18.9 million. Missing security tapes and speed of the heist point to an inside job. Investigators give all 130 current and recently fired Dunbar employees lie detector tests. Only 2 people fail: Alan Pace and his girlfriend Tamiko. And other evidence also points to Pace.
One of the employees that was tied up recognized Alan Pace's voice when he spoke to the female.
He referred to her as baby in several of the comments that he made to her.
In the failed polygraph and the witness statement, Dunbar management expects an arrest, but investigators don't have a case.
We didn't have the actual physical evidence that would support an arrest of Alan Pace. There was a lot of conjecture and supposition, but we just didn't have the evidence.
With no way to pin the Dunbar Armored Depot heist on Pace, the investigation drags on for months. A year after the heist,
Executives offer a reward for any information about the robbery to the tune of $250,000. $250,000 is now offered for information about this robbery.
fast forward another year, and the crew is confident they've gotten away with it. And that's exactly when someone gets careless.
But he makes probably the most amateur of all amateur mistakes. The problems begin with Eugene Hill. He takes about $100,000 of the money that was stolen, and he wants to invest it in land. The money is still wrapped with paper straps from the robbery. The realtor is instantly suspicious and contacts the police.
They had heard that there's a $250,000 reward being offered for this Dunbar heist, and they call the authorities.
We were able to verify these paper money straps because of what was actually stamped on them and the date of September the 11th or September the 12th, 1997.
Meanwhile, the FBI crime lab determines that the tailgate fragment found at the scene is unique to U-Haul trucks.
And when we found that rental agreement in the name of Eugene Hill, obviously we were elated.
First one in, first one caught. Eugene Hill is the weakest link.
Eugene Hill admitted to his participation in the robbery, and he named all of his accomplices in the robbery.
Pace and his friends are indicted on charges of robbery, conspiracy, and money laundering. Pace is sentenced to 24 years, more than double the prison time of the friends who testified against him. At just shy of $19 billion, the Dunbar Armored Car Depot is without question one of history's greatest heists.